Wanderers, welcome to the Wondering Dutchmen podcast.
Today's episode is brought to you by Blessinger Insurance. September is National Life Insurance Awareness Month, and our buddy Chad Blessinger with Blessinger Insurance wants to clear up some myths about life insurance. One myth is that you should get life insurance once you're older. Wrong. Buy that life insurance now, when you're younger and healthier, where costs will be their lowest. Another myth is that life insurance is too expensive. Wrong again. Depending on your application and health screening, life insurance can be quite affordable. Life insurance is all about planning and taking care of your loved ones. Nothing can ever replace you, but your family shouldn't have to worry about paying the bills or buying the groceries. If you're young and have a family and haven't had the life insurance conversation with a trusted agent yet, let Chad Blessinger help you today.
The Wondering Dutchmen podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wondering Dutchman podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge.
The Wondering Dutchman. Yeah, yeah. The Wondering Dutchman. Yeah.
Buckle up, because it's time for your favorite podcast coming out of Holland, Indiana. The guy that's running the music cannot find the off button.
No,
And we just continued on through it because we're professionals here.
Yeah.
And introducing us at the table, we might as well start. The guy that runs the board, has the computer, has his little wireless mouse and a mustache, sporting the golfing shirt over there, looking very feng shui for a Sunday. It's our buddy, Zachary David Maester.
Hey, guys.
Sitting in the middle, still missing his rose-colored glasses. This is about to be a very big problem because I don't know if they're going to... If it's been 3 weeks already, do we just assume they're gone?
I ordered a new pair.
Okay. Well,
But they're
good.
not here yet.
They're not here
That's
yet.
why he's a little flat.
He's a little flat, but it's all right. We were watching some horse jumping earlier. Kind of had him excited.
Yeah.
Had him into his 4-H days. They were not wearing Wranglers and cowboy boots, but, you know, probably Lululemon and fancy boots. But
Lululemon.
isn't that what it is?
Lululemon?
Oh.
Close.
Yeah, that's my bad. It's our buddy. No ponytail today. Let the hair flow. David Allen Smoker. I'm Esquire. And joining to my left, if you're watching on YouTube, is a stranger. Not a stranger to the show because he's a big fan. But we've brought in our buddy, Mick Ubelor, or what's he go by? Mick Blends.
Yes, sir.
In the social media world, to join us for a little conversation. As we get into the ice cold opener, big fella, what you got?
Just because summer's pretty much behind us, that doesn't mean your ice needs are behind you. Listen, coolers don't just miraculously keep drinks cold, and it isn't cold enough just to leave them outside yet. Enter Celebration Ice. Your tailgate or family gathering is not complete without ice with attitude. Stop by anywhere you see the ice chests outside with Celebration Ice, real big on them. Inside that chest lies what you need for ice-cold refreshments.
Played a little golf yesterday with some buddies. Had fun.
Did you get the phone call?
About what?
Playing golf?
Cody texted me in the morning.
Yeah. He was playing. He was building pools and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, you were pool building this weekend.
Yeah. So we played a little golf yesterday. Went up to my in-laws for dinner. Sister-in-law was down from Indy to hang out. Had some beef stroganoff, which was
Interesting.
unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Tried a new vegetable.
Carrots?
Broccolini.
Oh,
You ever had broccolini? Craziest shit I've ever seen. It was a broccoli stem that was about yay long, but it was very spindly. Not very much floret, but a lot of stem. Steamed the shit out of it with some salt. It's pretty good, but like I just didn't have really any idea what the hell I was eating. But
you're really not selling me on that.
that's okay. I mean, it was good.
Okay.
But it was just kind of a funky.
Well, I don't expect Jay to cook anything not good.
Well, Grace I think she was in charge of those veggies because she's into that stuff. But anyway, yep. Other than that, want to knock this show out. Mick, welcome to the lounge, brother, and probably hopefully go out and play a little bit more golf this afternoon. See what happens. So
He forgot to say that he doesn't have his kids for the week, and that's why he's so happy.
yeah, well, it's not that I'm happy, but I mean, yeah, they're not
Okay.
They're gone. I'm gonna miss
You're
them.
floating right
It's gonna
now.
be pretty quiet around the joint, pretty wild, but
Sends them to church camp for a week and then sends them off on old me, mom, papaw.
Mammal, yeah.
Mammal, whatever.
What you got, Smoke Dragon?
Nothing. Mowed some grass.
Yeah, you did.
You know, and
Was it a neighborhood effort this time or just solo?
no, just mowed the front yard before the rain came.
Oh, okay.
Yep, getting ready for a work week.
It's unfortunate that way.
Sucks.
It's kind of the bad thing about recording on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Is the Sunday scaries happen.
Yeah.
I don't have too much. I'll turn it over to our buddy Mick. Mick, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Oh, yeah. I'm Mick from Huntingburg. I appreciate you guys having me. Long-time listener, long-time fan. I remember sitting around playing some pool with my buddies, and old came out and was like, hey, you see this podcast that Coach Lindemann's got on? It's like, oh,
That's always good.
gonna have to give it a listen here. So been tuning in ever since, but glad to be here.
Awesome, man.
Awesome. And that ice cold opener was brought to you by our friends at Celebration Ice. All right. So we are going to diverge from a traditional show. It's going to be a straight interview conversation with Mick. So we just thought we'd try something new with guests so we can come in and instead of maybe doing a in-depth with the Dutchman, we just kind of make it a regular show. And we certainly wanted to bring Mick in because this summer, obviously baseball season, you played for the Bombers. You're a Southridge guy, Oakland City right now too. You're going to be a sophomore at Oakland City, but I think the real start of it is how did you enjoy high school baseball and playing for Southridge and just coming from Southridge?
I think that was the best baseball experience that you can have, playing for the community, because growing up, that's all you watch. That's all you looked up to is those guys that you see around town playing, go to every game. So playing for the Raiders, playing for the guys, and being with my best friends playing baseball, that's all I ever wanted. It was just much as I can ask for right there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, and Big Fella's got a youngster in the program. Smoke's got 3 that are playing.
Yeah.
I've
got
got
a lot of smokers in the baseball world and,
Oh, yeah.
and Raiders.
It's going to be a common name there, Raider baseball, I believe.
Because they're
Or Raider golf. We've been
pretty
spending
good.
a lot of time at the
Pretty
golf
good.
course too.
You both have. The big
Yeah.
ones.
So from Southridge, obviously your senior season ends with a sectional title.
Yep.
Probably one of the gutsiest pitching performance I've seen in Raider history
awesome.
was
That was
that
an
sectional
electric-
game against Jasper. Obviously, talk about that a little bit. I mean, I know it's been a year plus now, but something like that was just a great day.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, getting to the ballpark and having 3,000 fans there in Lee Stadium, and
That was insane, really.
I mean, I knew there was going to be a large crowd, but that many people was crazy. But I just was so looking forward to that opportunity because growing up, that's all you want to do, pitch in front of people.
Have you ever pitched in front of that many people before? Ever?
No,
Ever?
No.
Not even
I
close,
mean-
probably.
that was 3 times as many people I pitched in front of. So
Now, how do you control those emotions? Like, how do you try to just block that out and lock in? Like, is there anything that you do, like, from then until, like, even now, whenever the Bombers Stadium's packed up and, you know, when League Stadium's buzzing and shit like that? I mean, how do you just wipe all that off and try to lock in?
for me, it's just the day-to-day things I do, like same preparation. I try not to change anything to make it bigger than what it is.
Right.
And, you know, I know everyone here is going to have my back. So just being able to have fun with it, that's how I roll.
I guess that's right. Yeah, you got 7 other guys behind you that's, you know, going to be there, you know, to hang out, you know, to have your back literally. You know what I mean?
And
But
then all the fans, like, I know everyone here is supporting me. So being able to just make them proud makes it easier.
yeah.
I'll go back to your junior year when sectional was down at Princeton.
Yep.
And I think that performance against Gibson Southern, I knew you were going to have a good senior year. Like, could you tell like the tide was starting to turn where you went from, you know, being a quality arm to like, I'm going to go out and nobody can beat me?
Yeah. I mean, sophomore year, even I got to be behind Ethan, and me and him I feel like are very similar with our attitudes and how we play the game. So learning from him and all those guys. And then sophomore year, I was kind of thrown in the fire there pitching, which was great for me to learn. Great learning opportunity. But then senior year, I started filling up in my body a little bit, getting a little bit more mature.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I was going to have a good year, but going out there and performing, it was a lot of fun.
Starting to eat a little bit more gravy.
A little bit more gravy, a little bit more peanut butter, all that.
So we'll get through baseball, and then we'll talk a little bit more about life and some of the other things you've done this summer. So you commit to Oakland City, and obviously there's a familiar face down there in Coach Andy Lasher. because you have a unique history with the Bombers, right?
Oh yeah.
You want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so 2005, my parents started being a host family for the Bombers. So ever since I was 1, I had college dudes living in my house, being a big brother to me growing up. So then when my parents took it over for ownership, Andy Lasher was the head coach for the Bombers. So we've had great family friends with him ever since then, and he's always been a big supporter of mine and just loved me as a friend and everything. So then once I got to high school, started pitching a little better. He was the one that really started recruiting me, and obviously I was a late bloomer, like we said. So early on, there's nothing really going on. I just still had to show that I can pitch, and he believed in me. So that's kind of what led to that.
So how was your freshman year at Oakland City?
It was good, a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of learning to do because any level there's going to be that big jump of competition. So what I've kind of learned is from high school to college ball, it's just limiting mistakes. Like in high school, you can get away with missing this pitch or that pitch, but you got to be dialed in. And even during summers, and better competition than it was in college ball for the most part. So
yeah, I'd say you let one or two of them hanging curveballs lay in there. Yeah, them some bitches are going to be in the stratosphere.
I've done that plenty of times for sure.
And it's so Oakland City, you guys made a run. So Oakland City used to just be a part of the NCCCA, right?
NCCAA.
Say that again.
Well, but now they play also, you guys play NAIA ball.
Yeah, so there's the NAIA tournament and then the NCCAA tournament, which NCCAA is National Collegiate Christian Athletic Association. So all the Christian colleges. And then NAIA is whatever that stands for.
Whatever that stands for.
National Association of International Athletics.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, is that it?
That one.
I don't know. I don't know if that is or not. But people are probably more familiar with the NAIA aspect, and that's probably helped Andy with recruiting, I would assume.
Yeah,
right?
it's a lot
My
more.
keyboard won't work whenever this thing's plugged in because it's like sensing that it's not attached. That thing blows me up. Makes me upset. That's why I couldn't. I'm not Johnny on the spot with the Googler because
that's all right.
Just like the radio was, the song was dicked up because it had no control.
It's just he's not used to this Sunday thing.
I know I'm off my rocker here.
So the NAIA helps a little bit because that's probably a more recognized brand, and there's been some pretty good NAIA teams like IU Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
They were out at the NAIA College World Series last year, 2 years ago.
This past year, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys play them because I think it's all the same conference, right?
We're in the same conference.
Ooh,
and NAIA is different from like the NCCAA because NAIA gets a lot more money. They get a lot more lenient on where they can throw their money to, how many scholarships they can give out. So you'll see a lot of foreign kids come over and play NAIA because they can get more money.
So how's that? What's that like? I know in Oakland City, like, so my experience, obviously not going to college at any college really, but I worked at the Francisco mine, and we would have to go to
proud supporters of Oakland City University.
Yeah, we would have to drive through Oakland City every day to get to work, so we would always stop at the old Shell station down there. It's got the subway down there. And it was always, you never knew what you were going to get. Like you could go in there and there would be 15, 20 kids in there trying to get Subway sandwiches and pizzas and stuff. And maybe 5 out of 15 of them were Americans. The rest of them were just all over the map. Like you could, I don't know, you know what I mean? They were darker skin, lighter skin, don't speak English, do speak English, whatever. But like, I guess I just never really knew that Oakland City was that big of a draw for, like, I guess you would say local folk.
Yeah.
I guess.
So a lot of foreign, they'll have big organizations that these group of kids will play for this organization overseas so that they can get recruited by NAIA colleges.
I see.
And so with NAIA, they can give out a lot more money and like they can split up however they want. So you can have these 3 friends. They can come watch them and say, hey, I like these guys, and they can give them more money than a division whatever.
Yeah, Division 2, Division 1, whatever.
It make a lot of the kids' families and parents will want them to do that. So that's kind of how a lot of them get routed into Oakland City.
National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. Is that what you said?
No, I said international
Right,
athletics.
which club? I mean, it makes sense, but yeah. So all kinds of different schools are in that in that deal there. That's pretty.
And that's because what's that conference? The River States Conference.
Yeah.
States Conference. They so Oakland City. So I mean, obviously you go down there for school part as well. What are you studying down there?
Business management.
Okay,
Business management. Yep.
there you go.
Maybe minor in HR because a lot of the classes align there, so I can get a quick minor in there if I decide to do that.
HR, something we all try to avoid in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Dave's not an HR fan.
Oh, I've got no problem with HR.
There you go. So pitching. So what was your first like welcome to the big? Not obviously I'm going to say big leagues, but what was the first like welcome to the big leagues moment when you started pitching for Oakland City?
At first, we in fall, like our team, we have a lot of good roster, good guys. So in the fall, we have a lot of scrimmages, and I think the second time I was pitching, I was throwing fine, and I just get a nuke hit off me like right away.
I was going to say some number 4 or 5 hole hitter walks in there with a big cheek full of friggin' chaw, like on the.
It looks like he's been shaving for 15 years.
Rookie of the year when he's.
Oh yeah. So,
grabbing the bat, you know.
Our field was getting worked on in the fall, so we didn't have a field
to
start. So we were at Wood Memorial,
right.
their high school field, and it's just dirt, terrible.
Goat
field.
ranch.
Yeah. There's a big barn out and left, and it just clanks off the barn. And I was like, oh, yep, here we go. That's definitely something that sticks out for sure.
And then as he ran around the bases, he yelled at you in Spanish.
Yeah.
We actually had a Russian on our team, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
No shit.
So, things got a little intense there.
I could only imagine. Yeah.
That's a whole different breed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is he still on the squad?
I think he's transferring out, but there are some issues there where a couple fights went down.
Oh, boy.
But he was, any little thing ticked that boy off.
Oh, I could only imagine.
So how long was he in the United States?
Since college. He went to Frontier, which is a community college in Fairfield, Illinois.
Okay.
And then went to Oakland City this past year.
So it's a wild thought to be like come from Mother Russia to end up in nowhere, Illinois.
Did you just say Mother Russia?
Because that's what it is, isn't it? Mother Russia. Because the fatherland is Germany, right? Or do I have him back?
I have
switched?
no idea what you're trying to get at.
Anyways.
But I mean, I get it. It's fine. Yeah.
So how good could he drink the vodka?
They don't do that.
I'm not going to talk about that.
They don't do that down there. Remember?
Oh, that's right. They don't.
That.
They don't.
College
do that
kids down in Oakland. It's a nice Christian facility.
So So you mentioned new facility. That was kind of it was going to happen, and then it wasn't going to happen, and it ended up happening.
Yeah. So
they got like a huge donorship. Though, right? Like didn't somebody just dump a bunch of money?
Some guy invented something and got a bunch of money for it and was going to donate it.
Nice.
So then they were going to start on it, but then they had to give whatever approved, so they had to delay it again. And then they finally just got the turf done and the big net behind. But then this coming fall, they're going to get the grandstand and the fence all redone too.
So what's that like? So this will be a good question.
We'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Growing up playing, let's say, Dan Merkel Field, like where Smoke and I's kids are playing now.
Oh, yeah.
Then you go to Southside where Mr. Player Development coaches, and that's predominantly it's a diamond in the rough. Let's just say that. So it has its good days.
Couple trees hanging over the fence.
Yeah, it has its good days and its bad days. And then you come down and play, in my opinion, is probably one of the premier ballparks in our area with that is of League Stadium. You know, like it's pretty well manicured and, you know, dirt and grass infield and stuff like that, you know, but then, you know, you transfer into college ball and like you said, you got to practice, you know, on the Wood Memorial Field was basically like a men's softball field. It's all dirt and everything like that, you know. Probably an artificial mound. Is it an artificial mound?
No, it's a real mound.
Right. So then
you got to dig it up and redo it.
There you go. Yeah. So then after this is done and you've kind of progressed through this. So now what is the percentage of fields that you guys find yourself playing on that are artificial surfaces? Like are there a lot of them?
Yeah, I mean, now I'd say majority, honestly.
Okay, so tell me what that's like. Tell me how you transition from like our kids' age coming out of playing on dirt. That like my kids don't play travel ball, Dave's kids don't play travel ball, but like I'm assuming a lot of these other kids that are playing travel ball get some turf looks. But like, how do you transition to that? Like, what's the play like difference?
It's different for sure. I mean, I've seen guys even for the Bombers this year. One of our infielders played at Indiana State, so it was turf, and he gets to all grass, and it's just messing with him for a couple weeks, making errors here and left. So like before at Oakland City, before we go for a series on turf field, we would go back to Memorial and take ground balls there. So and every turf's different. We play at Chillicothe, Ohio, and their turf is like 14 years old,
Oh,
all
wow.
bumpy and
The old
everything.
school,
So,
like
Yeah.
AstroTurf.
Kurt Warner type of feel to it. Yeah, I played there, and then in Lafayette, they have a really nice stadium, pretty new, but there's coconut turf, which is weird. They have like coconut shavings or
Wow.
whatever in that
Yeah.
to play better, but it's real like slick and stuff, so you have people sliding everywhere. So every place is different, but I feel like it's kind of ruined a lot of the nutsack in the game.
Right.
Baseball,
Exactly.
just
For
to
sure.
Get people to take one off the face.
That's
But,
true. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like when when you're playing on grass, you never know what kind of hop you're going to get. You know what I mean? Whereas, like if you're playing off a turf, it's kind of like hitting jugs in Maple Park Gym off of Brad Whitler doing 3,000 mile an hour. You know what I mean? Off that artificial floor. But I could just imagine, like if you play every year on grass and then all of a sudden you show up to go play on a turf field, it's probably hell of a difference.
Well, and kind of you look at here locally, Ruxer Field is going all turf.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which I never thought I would have ever.
I don't know.
Ever seen that
Mr.
happen?
Gilbert over there approving of that.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was his decision or what.
Probably not his decision.
Yeah.
But I mean, their thing that they're saying over there is if you want to host an IHSA sectional regional semi-state, you're going to have to go that way.
Because you can't afford rainouts. You can't afford your weekend to be shot. You can't afford, to try to the logistics of trying to reschedule and move like this last year's game when they had to. They moved that championship game to like a Monday.
They've always played it on the Monday.
Of
Memorial
course,
Day.
but it's like, I don't know. Like I think it was it the Monday Memorial Day, or they had to change it to a different day where most people had to work? Remember, wasn't that what it was?
No idea, buddy.
I can't remember either. But I just
they
remember
changed it,
you couldn't. There was no way I could have went because it had to work. Like how in the hell are they going to try to get these people?
Well, but
I don't know.
That year we won state title. That was played on like a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a wild situation
Exactly.
because that's when the Indians could get you in.
Yeah, I think there again, that's just one of those things. You're at the mercy of schedule and logistics.
Everything else. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because I mean the cost. I don't know what the cost is to turn all that turf. I mean, and I know what it took. Now the thing of it is
I don't know. You look at long run. What do you think the maintenance on like a grass field and everything where you got man hours?
But you got to replace those like every 10 years. You're supposed to.
Turf.
Yeah, because like you look at ours out at the high school
Football field, yeah.
Yeah, that needs to be. Which is funny because you see a lot of the pro athletes going to say, we don't want to play on turf, we want to play on grass. Which is funny how
there's a huge thing going on now, obviously in the NFL about it. Like a lot of the guys are saying that they're done with turf. They want to go back to playing on grass. You got a lot of injuries and things like that, So
well, and I guess because the grass will give a little bit.
I don't know.
But when it comes to turf, I think you stick.
Yeah.
And when you stick, that's where you get a lot of the ACLs and other stuff like that. Because
everything's so much faster on turf too. Like the game's a lot faster. Everything speeds up on you for sure.
Well, we'd probably need to be on turf.
You think?
For us,
Well,
our games need to be on
It'd be
turf
pretty wild. Yeah.
to speed up that. I think it would be tough to do. So Oakland City. So you're going down for a second year. What's the process been like now that you have a little bit more knowledge, getting ready for year two?
Yeah. So this past year, I was just out of relief for the most part, and then I ended up starting into the year. But we had each conference series, you play 3 games in your conference, and we had a 6-year senior, a normal senior, and then a redshirt junior. That were the 3 starters guys, and they never really messed up, so I was always behind them. But now with them graduating, I'll be one of the main starters, so hopefully I can have a good year and have another good numbers to see where I can go after that.
Do you prefer starting?
Yeah.
Do you prefer now? What's the difference? What, in my opinion, that just in your opinion, not my opinion. My opinion don't mean shit because I'm not a pitcher. But starting the game versus being like a reliever or a closer, like how does one pick? How does one prefer? I guess make that preference. Like where are you at on that?
For me, it's starting because I like to be able to control everything that goes on. I like to be able to blame myself if something goes bad and just stick with the same routine every time. But I know people that hate starting. Like they just like to go up and try to throw as hard as they can for 1 or 2 innings because that's all they're comfortable with. That's all they can handle. So it really depends on the person.
Right. I guess it makes sense. You wouldn't want to. if you weren't as sharp in the head, you know, you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't want to try to control the flow of the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of those where last year we had a guy come in and he was a reliever, threw about 90 to 94 in first practice, just hit someone in the back of the head. The rest of the year, no one was taking ABs off of him.
Oh, God.
They were scared to death. But
90, 94, pluck somebody in the back.
oh
of the
yeah,
head.
he couldn't play the rest of the year.
Oh,
the whole
really?
The
spring.
kid that got hit.
Yeah, he had to go to the doctor.
Oh,
Then
my
they
God.
said if he got hit another time, he'll have permanent damage. and all
CTE
that.
City.
So,
Good God.
That's never any good.
yeah, it wasn't a fun time.
Let's talk about playing for the Bombers this summer, coming back home to play. How's that been?
That's been awesome. I've been wanting to do that for my whole life, it seems like. So being able to do that and live out something I've been dreaming of has been a lot of fun for sure.
And the what's the adjustment been like going from the level of competition you've gotten used to in the NAIA level to now kind of getting into what would be, that level? The Prospect League is a pretty good wood and bat league.
Yeah.
It's probably, not to knock the old, I think it was the Ohio Valley League,
Yeah.
but, the Prospect League has a little bit bigger catch into it
yeah.
level wise. So what's that level been like? I mean, you find yourself a lot of nights you're like, I'm pitching it up, or you're saying, it's about the same, or there's nights where you're like, we see these guys all the time.
As fall approaches, ease into the season by preparing your vehicle for the Jeep runs, tailgating fun, and that good old country cruise. Now's the time to check the treads on those tires and make sure your vehicle is ready to keep you comfortable as we go from the heat of summer to the chill of fall. Timely service can save you trouble down the road. The process to get in at Dubois County Tire and Supply is quick and easy. Friendly service as soon as you enter the door, paired with an experienced and knowledgeable staff, makes for a winning combination. Don't forget to check out their unbelievable deals on Mastercraft tires for your ride. Give Dubois County Tire and Supply a call today. We're big or small, they service it all.
It depends. I think every day is different because even with us, you're playing different dudes every day with the whole team. So some days I could pitch against guys I've pitched against guys from Mississippi State, Penn State, all these big D1s. But I think overall, within the eye, it's more consistent talent. With Prospect League, you'll have 5 dudes that are dang good, and then you'll have 3 that you don't really know. So it's been definitely an adjustment. Competition as a matter has to be better to pitch in that league, but it's been a lot of fun to be able to see where I kind of compare up to all those guys and see what I can do.
How do you feel like you compare?
I think I'm just as good as anyone that plays in that league.
Got that dog.
Got that dog in him.
Try.
What's been a fun, unique thing from this summer that you didn't think maybe, because you've been around it for a long time. We talked about your parents being involved with it for a long time. Wanting to have baseball at League Stadium during the summertime. But what's something once you've got onto this like player side where you're like, oh, that's been interesting to find out or kind of unique?
Yeah, so I was always that kid that's asking everyone to sign everything, trying to chase down all them balls. And then now as a player, you have kids come up to you. Like a lot of guys can get tired of it, like, oh, well, gotta do this again. But for me, it's like I was that kid. So being able to make others' day and make others' night by signing the balls or doing whatever, taking a picture, it's been really fulfilling for me personally. And then also the behind-the-scenes stuff like the away trips, everything, just more of putting all that entertainment stuff behind, just going to play with these guys that I've known for 2 months and creating cool friendships with that. That's definitely been something I've looked forward to.
Who's been is there anybody that sticks out on the roster where you're like, pretty cool dude, would definitely stay in touch with? Or
Oh yeah, for sure.
a few of them?
I've definitely already looking to get them back next year. If I'm going to be playing again, try to hook up with them for sure.
Well, ideally, we want you to go play like Cape Cod League or something.
Yeah. If that happens, it happens.
The Cape Cod?
We'll see.
Now, since I don't go to very many Bombers games, and David's been to a few, Casey's been to
None.
None.
We are great season ticket holders.
Right. So do you bat?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Heck
No.
I gave that up a while ago.
No.
Batting's awesome when you're doing well, but
Yeah.
dang, when you suck, it really sucks.
That's what I was wondering. So,
Yep.
yeah. And then, so tell me how, like, as far as, like, obviously you did you have anybody else living with you this summertime?
Oh yeah. So one of my buddies, Kendrick, he's on the Zor Strikeout Mafia team with us too.
Yeah.
But he stayed at my house because I played travel with him senior year summer, and then he's at Oakland City, so he stays at the house. And then another one of my buddies from Oakland City that stays at my house, and then Victor, one of the coaches, lives in the basement,
permanent resident.
And then in June, another one of my buddy pitchers lives in. He's from Linton, Stockton, so it's like an hour drive there and back.
Right.
So it's like stay at my house. So at times we had five guys staying at my house in
Jeez
summer.
Louise.
Mary had to.
Now does Victor have a scooter?
Oh yeah, moped.
That's what I see Victor riding a
the
moped.
White Lightning.
That's awesome.
Like he doesn't have a vehicle, or
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I think it was funny to see Victor showing up to league on a white moped.
Little Venezuelan with a big old helmet on, riding a scooter downtown. It's pretty
Looked
fun.
like a Vespa, like an Italian dude on a Vespa.
is it a Vespa?
No, hell no, it's not a Vespa. It's so funny. Victor has no idea who I am, but if you're listening to this, Victor,
I mean, he'll
I think
talk
that-
your ear off.
that's
for sure.
cool. I think that's cool.
Do you
riding a
think big
moped.
fella over there would meet his match on talking ear off?
Oh, it'll be close for sure. You may not be able to understand everything he says, but
Right.
he'll talk to you for sure.
Now he coaches at Oakland City too.
No, he played at Oakland City, and then he's coaching at Campbellsville University in Kentucky
Okay,
Campbellsville, Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where he lives full time then down there? Or?
during the school year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
and then
a
does he
long-
go back to Venezuela like on his time off?
No, he lives with us.
Oh.
I'm off.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's another one of the family members.
That's cool.
Right
man.
now.
that's a hell of a drive on the old scooter though,
Oh,
from
yeah.
Huntingburg to Campbellsville.
Mike has to pick him up there and back, but
Yeah. That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's great.
awesome.
So you've pretty much started for the Bombers, right?
yeah, I came out of relief like twice, but I kind of did a lot better as a starter to start, and that's what I prefer. So that's I've just been doing well. So that's what I've been doing.
And what's it like been back playing for Coach Lamar? Obviously, high school wise, Travis is part of the high school program. Is it a little bit different of a relationship now, kind of coming back versus like what it was in high school?
Yeah, because in high school you're, yes sir, I do everything that you say, which I still do. But he's more of I've gotten to go a lot better friends with him, just being around him every day and seeing different sides of him and the other coaches just throughout being with each other so long. And a lot of time, it's been a lot of fun.
You got any more baseball questions?
I don't think so. Dave, how about you? You got any baseball questions?
Fresh out of baseball question.
That's what I figured.
Yeah,
Dave's
that's
just
what I
waiting
figured.
in the wing.
Have you been to a tailgate recently where the food spread was less than subpar? Did you have a hard time identifying what kind of burger or dog was on the bun? Well, don't suffer in silence anymore. Be the host or the guest with the most. Head to Merkley's before your next tailgate and get their world-famous snap dogs, seasoned burger patties, or flavored brats. Merkley & Sons is an ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts for a reason. Now, don't suffer at tailgates anymore. Make a trip to Merkley's before you head to the game and stock up.
All right. Well, I think we've beat the old baseball pretty hard there.
Yeah.
I think that Dave has indicated no more baseball talk. We want to talk about.
I just meant I didn't have any.
We want to get to Mick Eubler, the person.
Yeah.
Here a little bit, and Mickey Blends. So we're going to take one more lap around the table here for some final thoughts on part one of the interview.
Southern Indiana Hardwoods wants to remind you that fall time is a perfect time to smoke a rack of ribs, a hearty brisket, or even that massive pork butt you've been holding on to. It isn't soup season yet, and Southern Indiana Hardwoods has an inventory of those wonderful Green Mountain pellet grills ready for you. Now, not only does Southern Indiana Hardwoods carry the Green Mountain pellet grills, but they also have the accessories to go with the grills, and most importantly, top-notch smoking pellets. You can have the perfect cut of meat, but if you don't use quality pellets, you're wasting your time. Give Nick Merkley a call today.
All right, big fella. Anything baseball related
All right.
before we go to part two?
So I've been sitting here pondering and thinking, and I think you're a great kid. I think it's cool. Like you were talking
appreciate
about.
Here comes the butt.
I know. I'm really going to stroke him good
What's
here.
coming up here?
When I told you, when he said a while ago about always that kid running after foul balls and always trying to get autographs and shit like that, I think it was definitely your senior year when you guys won sectional and all those younger kids came out on the floor on the field and everything like that. And Maxwell, my son, asked you to sign the underside of the bill of his hat. And Mick was like, yeah, that's cool, but it's only under one condition. You have to sign the underside of my hat. And like, I kind of get that feeling back here. You know what I mean? I'm not going to cry or anything like
Here
that.
comes the ugly tears.
But like, I think that's cool. And it says a lot about your character. Like when you grow up and it means so much, and that field is like your second home. Yeah. And then like you get another little kid out there that loves it and wants it just as much. And then I mean, 9 times out of 10 kids these days don't give 2 shits about that. You know what I mean? About they're just looking for what's going on after the game, or what are we going to do next, and stuff like that. But it's those little things like that when you know that you were not, raised right, or that you want it and it, and that, to come back and do that for a little kid. I think that that really gets me in the feels. And I know Maxwell was like super stoked about it. He's like, Dad, look. And he goes, I got to sign his hat too. You know what I mean? And I just think, you're a high school baseball player from Southridge, from Huntingburg, Indiana. You know what I mean? But it's like, to him, you could have been the starter for the Cardinals or something. You know what I mean? It's super cool, and I appreciate that. And I don't really have. Where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years down the road? Do you want to try to go? Are you gonna try to go to the big show, or you want to see what happens?
If things align and things keep going in the line how they have been, I feel like I could do it if I put the work into it. So if that happens, great. But I also know it's not completely my plan. Something, whatever happens.
Amen.
Try to take it as far as I can.
That's cool, man.
You don't have this age for a while, so gotta make use of it for sure.
That's right, for sure.
Do what you can.
Smoke Dragon?
Hey, man, thanks for stopping in. I really don't have anything on baseball-related stuff that I can even.
When we started this podcast, Dave's like, I don't want it to be a sports podcast. And then we do this to him. And Dave loves us, luckily, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has to. He's put up with us for 2 years now. But that.
Well, I appreciate you letting me come in, Smoke.
Yeah, no problem,
Awesome,
buddy. I just can't even fake a good baseball quote.
What's your favorite concession stand item? There you go.
Dave, I ain't working no concession stand. How it all started.
What you got, Esquire?
No, just appreciate you coming here. Obviously, I would have never guessed. This is weird. You've never heard this before, but when I coached you in middle school, to see how you've developed and worked at it, you're a prime example of a kid that when you work hard at something, like, it can work out. And I don't think, and I think you probably have this feeling too, but I don't think Oakland City is your final stop.
Yep.
Because I think there's a lot of places to go that are there. And whether it's a mid-major or a Division I powerhouse, I think, we didn't talk like where your velos topped out or where other things have gone out, but I think the makeup of it, you're the prime example of a kid a coach wants to have around. And I'm sure Travis is doing everything he can to help you. And I'm sure Andy's not going to hold you back from you chasing those dreams. But, I always thought you competed. And that's one thing you can't coach and teach a kid. And that group that we had there, and you guys end up winning a sectional title as a group of seniors. Which
we were terrible.
Yes.
We were bad.
I'm glad you say
so bad.
But I always
3 games.
But I always knew that when you guys, like when you were when you were pitching or you were playing or you were at short, whatever you were doing, you were going to compete and work. And I think that's what, for these young kids that you talk about that come up and they want to see and they want to play and they watch you play, I hope they pick up on that, because that's what's going to make you successful. Because there's guys sitting in your shoes that have a ton more talent than you, but they don't have the work ethic that fills that void. And I think that's what makes it exciting and neat. But glad we could talk baseball. Really look forward to part 2 where we can talk about some other things to get away from that. But you got any final thoughts here for part 1?
I just don't want you to forget 5th grade football either with the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, my foray into coaching football.
Oh, yeah. We were real good. We tied 1 game.
Yeah.
We tied 1 game.
We weren't real good outside of that. That was the year pre-marriage that I coached football, basketball, and baseball.
Was it like some kind of community service stint that your PO wanted you to take care of?
So what year would have been 5th grade for you?
5th grade for me, yeah. First time I ever played football. Last time I ever played football.
What year was that, Ben? 2000 what?
Well, so you graduated in 22.
Here we go. Come on, Rain Man. Where you at?
22, 7 years later.
Yeah.
So what'd be 2015, 2014?
14,
Something in there.
Yeah.
So it would have been the fall of 2014. I would have just been back practicing law because I graduated in 2013. So I would have been back full time there for 2014. That's what it was. There's no community service there. I was a terrible football coach.
Hey, stay tuned for
Terrible
part 2, Mick. We'll be right back. We'll catch you guys on Friday.
Dutchman out.